talk. Yeah, and again, this meeting is being recorded. You can always find recordings of previous meetings by sending a message to myself, an email to myself or OJ, and we'll be happy to share any recordings of previous live sessions with you guys. Okay, so I'll open the floor now for your questions and feedback. Okay, so is that a question in the comments? Good evening. Okay, no, it's not a question. So you guys, typically, I'm a bit more high energy at this time, and if there's no questions, I can facilitate some questions. But today, like I told you guys, it's 3 a.m. where I am, so you have to really forgive me. You have to come with your questions today, otherwise, I have nothing for you. While we're waiting for the questions, perhaps maybe we can just have an icebreaker with the people who are here to kind of introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you are, what you're doing right now, why you took the course. Just do a quick introduction of yourself as we go down till we get questions. But please, as we are doing the introduction, if you remember a question, please let us pause and ask the questions, because we are really here to ask and answer any questions you have, because we don't have a live class. So this is your chance to talk one-on-one, get your questions answered, okay? So let's start from Chinyere Enike, and then go down the list on the participants list. Just introduce yourself, tell us about yourself, and let us know if you're in batch 1, 2, or 3. Like I want to know, the people who are here. I have nice some names, but not all the names.
Okay. Good evening from here. My name is Enike Chinyere. I chose to picked interest in this course. Okay. First of all, I am a civil servant. I stay in Anambra State. It's Oka, precisely, Anambra State. I picked interest. I am an art student. I studied arts and I graduated in public administration. But I picked interest in this course because I have been looking for an avenue to break into the field of health, like medicine or anything that will usher me into the field of health, so that I can give in what I have there. Actually, this is an introduction to sciences for me. and I am glad I am taking this course. It's what I have seen so far is a bit much for me, but I am taking it one at a time, and I am sure it will be well assimilated, and I'll put it into practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chinyere. So before we go to the next person, I would like to get a little bit more from you with regards to when you say it's a bit too much for you. Do you have any like points in the video where you are like stuck that we could kind of help you clarify something to, be able to assimilate more or assimilate faster?
Okay, not like okay. When I was listening to the week two, the week two
Okay.
course, I got to the point where you said you have given assignment for us to go and look out for, you said, pharma companies or bio something. So
Okay.
I've listened. So I didn't understand that part, but I have listened to it again so that I would understand that particular assignment, because I did not hear it such in week one, or maybe I missed out while I was listening in week one. I didn't hear that assignment. So I
Actually,
said,
yeah, go ahead.
so I said to myself that I will have to listen to the week two again, over again, and get what you actually mean by what I understood was pharma. Where's my jota? I think pharmaceuticals
Okay.
within your locality, and there's the other
Okay.
word you called bio something. So that one is a bit big for me. But I said when I listen to it
So,
again, if I have questions, I'll ask.
my darling, see, this is why it's good for us to talk. One of the things that because I went to university as an adult, I didn't finish university until almost 30 years old. So I think that one of the things that it helped me do was, use my own money to go to university. So they asked, at least I went to school in America where you could ask questions to the professors. And it forced me to ask them questions, like without shame, because I know how much I was suffering to get that money. So I want to encourage everybody in this class to please ask your questions, especially during this time. Ask your questions without doubting yourself that is really a question. Because what you just said right now really is very valid. Why is it valid? Because if you're listening to the week two course, you will see where I kind of mentioned, when you listen again, you see where I kind of mentioned that there are three kinds of, three kinds of companies, for lack of a better
Yes,
word to
yes,
call them. Yeah, three kind of
yes,
companies or company brackets that hire clinical trial assistants, right? And I just go
yes.
on to list it. I didn't really take the time to explain it more than that, right? So the question you're asking now is a very valid question. What are these different types of companies and how are they different? We have covered this a little bit in some of the previous live sessions, but I'll take the time now to cover it so that you can understand what that assignment is about. So please, thank you for asking that question, okay?
All right.
So there are three different types of companies that hire clinical trial assistants. And I want to explain that to everybody in a way that you won't only understand, why that's an assignment, but you understand that that is actually guiding you to start, doing the first preview to looking for work. Okay. So as a CTA, you can work for, let's start with the pharmaceutical companies. So in the clinical trial industry, you will hear them being called sponsors, you hear them being called clients, because at the core of our industry is a pharmaceutical company or some kind of drug company who have a drug or a component, some kind of medicine that they've decided that it can cure a particular disease. So now they have researched it in the lab with lab rats. Everything went well. So now they're at the stage where they want to research it with human beings. This is the core of our industry. Our industry is literally all about researching new drugs, researching new therapies that pharmaceutical companies believe can cure a disease. Okay, so the first type of companies that can hire CTAs are pharmaceutical companies. But in today's age, a lot of them are called biotechnology companies. Most of these biotechs, quite honestly, I feel like in today's world, biotechs have evolved to be a name for small pharmaceutical companies, because you cannot call one man, maybe one chemistry professor and one biology professor, just two people who decided that one chemical that they came up with can cure cancer, right? And their big brother is in the stock markets. So their big brother give them some money to, start this research. They can't call themselves a company, so they call themselves a biotech. So biotech, I will turn my video on, but man, my dear, I am literally just struggling right now trying to do this from my hotel room. But so that's the first group of people that can hire CTAs. They are the owners of the drug, whether they are a biotech, which is typically a small company. Sometimes it's just 6 people in the company, or a big pharma like the ones you've heard before, like GlaxoSmithKline, Merck, so that's the first group of companies that can hire CTAs. So when I gave you that assignment, it's for you to start looking for these companies as they exist in your area. Okay, and more specifically as they exist in Nigeria or in the region where you are. So now the second group of companies are called CROs. CRO stands for CRO stands for Clinical Research Organizations. Yes. So CROs are essentially bodies. They just exist to run clinical trials. Okay? They just exist to run clinical trials. Sometimes they're actually called contract research organizations. So they run clinical trials by contract with the pharmaceutical companies. So a pharma company can come and say, I have this drug I want to develop, but I don't have the staff. I've already told you some of these pharma companies, like the biotech, they're very small. They don't even have up to 10 people in their company. So they don't have the capacity to run this research a lot of times. And the big ones, they have the capacity, but they want to outsource the risk. Because, there's always a risk to, testing things on human beings. So the CROs take these contracts to run these trials, and then they run it. They hire the whole operations team that run the trials. So this is another group of companies that hire CTAs. So when I say research and give me a list of 3 pharma companies, 3 CROs, is to get you to start looking around you already to see which companies hire CTAs. And then the last group of companies are like institutions. They're really universities for the most part. These are the people who actually have the doctors, right? Most times they are the ones who have the doctors that test the patients to run those trials. A lot of cancer research is run by university teaching hospitals. A small man in his small office, doctor's office, cannot run it because how many cancer patients does he see? Most cancer patients who go to university teaching hospital where they have, professors or, research doctors who are ahead. So these are all sites that can hire CTAs. So that's why when I give you the assignment, is for you to research those 3 group of people that hire CTAs and see where they exist in your area. So that's what that assignment is all about. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, ma.
You are very welcome. Now. You are very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Okay, we can go to Annie Peace for the introduction if she's here. Annie Peace and then Chizobarex.
Please, I'm here. I don't have lights. Let me apologize for that. Good evening, all. I'm Annie Peace by name.
You never have to apologize for not having lights. We are not the government. All right.
So, good evening, everyone. Like I said, I'm Annie Peace, and presently I'm in Nigeria, Enugu, Nsukka to be precise. I am science-based. I studied science laboratory technology, and what caught my interest is the clinical stuff on it. So when I stumbled on your page on Facebook, I DM'd you, but you did not reply. Later, I now through a link, I think Telegram or something, I was able to pay. So I've joined the first live section. Please, all of you go to the room. I've joined the first live section, and from there I was able to. I listened, went through the YouTube videos you sent, and I was able to understand that it's not about laboratory stuff, because I was thinking it's something in the lab. So I now understood that it's not about laboratory stuff. It requires tech. And one of my aim this year is to transit into tech, because I've been in the lab for a period of time now, at least since I got job. Because presently I'm working as a laboratory technologist. So I now realize that I need to still, that my interest to transit into tech need to come up again, because from the video, the second training I listened to, I realized that some data entry is involved. After learning all the CTA languages and everything, it was flowing onto the second one. I realized that I have to go back to my system. And so I started making plans. This is the second time I'm coming live. So I paused, started making plans on getting a system, because the first one I had is no longer working. So I started making plans. Maybe before August, I'll be able to get a system. I need to upgrade myself in that aspect, because I was thinking it's laboratory something. Because I know if it's laboratory something, I can easily pick it. So, and the plan is on. I did the third the lecture you gave us and paused. So I know I need to go and do some background learning. Then the assignment you gave, and I work in the university, UNN to be precise, but Nsukka campus. So if it's Enugu campus, I will have access more to research center. So I now moved around. I now saw one research center inside school. One is in space, so it's not close. Then the one that is close is under genetics. They're still bringing up the departments. Is under biological sciences. So I went to the dean. Fortunately, the dean is my former dean in my former department. Presently, I'm in a VTH, vet. So she now told me that she's no longer in charge, that they're still building that department. You understand? And you know this dichotomy with academic and non-academics, that the people that are into research are the people in academics. So am I interested? I'm in the lab and I'm doing well as a technologist. I said, Ma, I'm interested, because she helped me during my licensing, so she knows me very well. That I'm interested, that I want to transition. She said, no, you know Nigerian thing, that there is only people that are purely lecturing. Meanwhile, we handle students, but on practical basis. We handle all their practical work. I handle final year students of vet medicine. I'm in parasitology department. So I kind of indulged my feet. I did not attend the last one, though it's because of my schedule. So this second one, I'm attending, but I now have a lot of work to do. Now to go back to that tech that I had in mind, because I know it will be related to this, and upscale myself and finish. I don't want to touch the fourth lecture, the fourth class you did, because I know where this thing is now going. Is something I've packed since, moving around in the lab. I'm taking too much time, sorry. So that's it. That's how I picked interest. It's that clinical that touched my attention. I thought it's come and do lab something, so that I know that I'll cope faster in that one.
So that's
Thank you
that's
all.
very
So that
very.
another person.
Thank you, Peace. I really appreciate you. So, first of all, let me apologize in advance to you and everybody else that I'm not even here about Facebook messages, because Facebook will not even send me everybody's message, and all the messages Facebook send me, my people. If I read all my Facebook message, I will not be able to do anything else in this life. So I really apologize if I don't get to see anybody's Facebook message. Facebook is now very rough for me with regards to my inbox. And then, yes, in clinical research, we definitely call lab research preclinical. So clinical research terms like, when the research starts testing on human beings and everything before that, the lab research, we call it preclinical. Any animal research, we call it preclinical. So that's definitely a difference. With regards to waiting to get a computer, I will definitely tell you, look, the course, nobody is ever going to take away your access to this course. Okay. Even though I said that you only have 3 months or you have about 3 months to complete the course, in 4 or 5 months, if you want to come back to any of these lessons, you can come back to them. So one thing I would tell you is instead of pausing your course, take the whole course. Now that everything is fresh in your mind, now that you are excited, the interest is there. Take the whole course, learn everything. Sometimes people talk about knowing what you don't know, right? So if you didn't listen up to this moment, you won't even know the ones you don't know, right? So I would say definitely take the whole course and know everything you don't know before you now go back to take any other steps, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, ma.
You are very welcome. You're very welcome. So let's go to Chizobarex Mosu. Chizoba, if you're still here, good evening.
Good evening, madam. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chizoba. I've enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed it. I'm excited. I'm a banker, right? And I've worked for 16 years. So one of the reasons why I decided to look into this direction, apart from the fact that my sister, referred me to this platform, is because I'm actually tired of working the way Nigerian bankers work. So I'm actually looking for a kind of job that gives you flexibility and you still get to, enjoy what you do. I love anything data. So that's why I know that I'm okay with this course. And so far I've enjoyed it. However, I met someone in an institute of pharmaceutical in my office. So because since I started this course, Coach Ada will always say communication skills. I upped mine, so anybody that I come in contact with, I want to know what you do, because I want to know if I can speak to you concerning what I actually want. So that's how I've been. And so I found someone who told me that he's a DG in in an institute for pharmaceutical in my location. I was so excited. And then I asked him if I could actually do CTA. I'm not sure I know exactly, but of course I had to pretend like I'm bored and all of that. And I was like, I would really like to learn. I would really like to do internship, whatever it is, even if you want to pay me or not pay me. And of course, that's also from what I learned from this course. And then the guy goes, yes, that he doesn't mind, that he can actually hire me. I should send my CV and everything. I just sent my regular CV, not the one that is tuned to this particular CTA course. So I sent to him, he said he likes it, and then that I should, but then he said I should first go and use YouTube to learn SPSS. But that was why I dropped some time ago. I dropped if we really needed it, because it wasn't mentioned in the course. So he said I should go and learn it. As soon as I learn how to enter data and query it, I should let him know. Then he will find me a place in his organization, and then I can give it a try. But my question, I've not really been able to ask him. I'm like, okay, is this going to affect my job? Even if I'm going to be doing some kind of voluntary work in his institute, is it going, I don't know how it works. I don't know, will it affect what I'm doing currently? Because of course I don't want to jump out. You know how things are. We all need money right now. I don't want to jump out and start it's going to be a drastic change for me and my family. So I really don't know how this is going to play out, but the guy is really waiting for me to tell him that I've learned this SPSS, and then he can allow me try out in his institute. So I wouldn't mind if you can advise me on that, ma. I can't hear you, ma. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking on mute. I could hear you fine. Sorry, okay. I was talking on mute. Okay. So, yes, my advice, that's the thing. I wish you had asked me this question just like this when you asked in the chat, because I would have pointed you differently. So for sure, what he's saying is valid with regards, there's a lot of resources online, right? So where have you gone already to try to learn about this? Have you tried YouTube?
I haven't tried YouTube. I was actually learning via Coursera. So, but
okay, Coursera is a good. Coursera is a good one. So my quite honestly, if I were in your shoes, I will, the whole Coursera class for SPSS that you found, how many hours is it? How long will it take you to finish it?
My pace is going to take me like a month.
Okay, so I would try to cut that down, because let me tell you things about opportunities. The people say, what's the word? When opportunity, success happens when opportunity meets preparedness, right? The thing with opportunity is you have to prepare yourself for it, right? What I told you and what you learned from me has prepared you to be able to even ask the question. A lot of people are in your position. They will see a guy, they say, they won't even be bold enough to ask them that question. So you have prepared yourself, you've been able to be bold enough to ask that question. But what I don't want to happen to you is that you wait for a month or 2 months or 3 months and you go back and he says, I thought you were not ready. I've already just given it that spot to somebody else. So, okay, wait again. You understand what I'm saying? So what I would do is literally to crash course what you're learning. Quite honestly, when I say I'm a very busy person, people will not even understand the fact that I died and resurrected this night to be able to be here right now. So I am indeed a very busy person, but I would actually tell you, like, look, as you're learning this SPSS, if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Either you ask it in the course setting, or if I don't answer in the course setting, you have OJ's WhatsApp. Send her a private WhatsApp, because what I would like to do is quite honestly motivate you to be comfortable enough to tell that guy, look, sir, I'm ready. I now know about SPSS. Because when you think about because he told you to learn it for data entry, right? Yes. I know Nigeria is a whole different. They have a whole different work culture, for example. But the truth is that for somebody who works in pharma, they cannot give you any task to do without training you to do it. You understand? So quite honestly, even this course, the reason why I was able to price this course so low is really because for me, it's like giving back. Because all I'm doing is planting these ideas in your head that you can look this direction. Because our industry, I'm going to tell you this, even at my level, if any company hires me today, they will train me before they give me any task to complete, for the most part. There's some company, because they know that I have experience now, they just throw me into the jungle. But the truth is that you are required by law to train people. So what I would like for you to do is to cover that course as quickly as possible so you can be bold enough, because it's really just about life, is about boldness in this life. Quite honestly, to go and tell the guy, oh God, don't finish. Because the truth is that even if you go to work today with the guy and they give you a task you don't understand, you can still pull up a Coursera and read up on it. You understand? You can still try to ask person and say, madam, please help me, I beg. I mean, this, I don't understand. Before I go and ask this guy, the guy said, no, please, can you just help me clarify? It's a good question. You understand? Because me personally, the way I learned clinical research, I just learned from somebody who has been doing it before. Right? So sometimes, even at my work, I will have to ask the person, is this a good question to ask my Oga before I ask, before they can say, you don't know this one. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my first advice to you. Try your best to just go back to him and say, okay, I'm ready. And with regards to, can you combine it with your job? I would say the way to ask him that question is this. You know what you earn currently in your job. right?
Yes, ma'am.
This job now, for me, I believe it will open more doors for you. So he has told you to come and work for him. Have you guys discussed if this is going to be a paid employment or not? Have you guys discussed that?
Yes, we did, and he said it. He said he might not pay, or even if he was going to pay, it might be little.
Okay. So since you've discussed that, then you should believe that the guy himself is. You should always believe that people are good until they show you that they are not. So since he has told that this is going to be an unpaid job or little pay, I think you should assume that he knows you are going to have to continue working. You understand? So with your bank hours, yes, and the hours he's going to give you, tell him you have to balance it, because everybody knows every adult needs an income. So they can't tell you to leave your job for no income, because that's not a considerate person. So I think for me, you should go ahead and get comfortable enough to tell him, look, I'm ready. And then let him give you the proposal and, see how you can balance it. But please feel free to ask me any questions, because I would really like for you to get this opportunity. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. So let's go to go on, Joy. I believe she's been around for a while. Let me skip you, Joy, if you don't mind, and go to Joy Eze. I'm not sure if I know that name. Or Linda or Zohili. I know I've not heard that name before, so I'm sure you're in batch 3. So let's do Linda or Zohili and then come back to Joy Eze and go on, Joy.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Yes, I'm Linda Zohili.
Okay.
Actually, I just finished NYSC, so
okay.
I'm trying to map out my career path. I studied microbiology in Uniport. So I've always been interested in anything research and anything clinical. So I really wanted to start up a career in the line of CRA as a clinical research associate, in that line. So I actually started, I didn't actually know exactly how to begin, but I started by taking a course on RSN, Fundamentals of Clinical Research. Before I now saw your course, before I came across your course on Facebook, so I did not hesitate to pay. Yes, I'm in batch 3 and join. So far, so far so good. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm enjoying the course. I'm enjoying everything. It's something that I like. It's something that I know that I'll actually enjoy doing and enjoy growing in. Yes. Although the data entry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, the data entry part. I wanted to ask, when preparing CV, do we actually need to have something like a certificate that will show the employer that we are proficient in data entry? Do I have to take a course how will I convince the employer that yes, that I'm okay in data entry and preparing my CV?
So you hear me say a lot in the course that, the CTA is an entry-level position for our industry. Yes. I know that Nigeria, because of high unemployment rates, recruiters or employers can demand a lot of things from candidates. But in general, you don't even need a college degree to do this job. That's the truth. And like I told the person just now, you actually have to be trained. It's actually a rule in our industry that you have to be trained to do any job any employer tells you to do in this industry. And so I won't worry too much about that. The truth is that if somebody asks you a question in an interview, do you have data entry experience? And you say, well, I took an informal course on data entry. I believe I'm very proficient in data entry. I doubt the person. I feel like that alone is already impressive for the person. I don't think the person is going to be like, oh, can you give me a certificate? That is not, because the truth is that our work, one of the reasons this industry exists and is going to keep growing everywhere in the world is because our work is always plenty. So if somebody even give you a job and you don't catch up fast and you don't learn and do the job, you're going to lose it. That's the truth, because the work will pile up and then your employer will be in trouble. So I sincerely believe that it will not be the average employer. It will have to be somebody who is very extra harsh to tell you, oh, I need a diploma or paper from me, certificate to say that you have completed data entry learning. No, because data entry is something anybody can teach you. And data entry is different from industry to industry. So even if you take a data entry course in accounting, for example, an accounting firm, and you come to clinical research, my dear, you have to learn it again, because the data that we need entered is very different. Data entry, they have to teach you, this is what we need. And then in fact, they have to keep correcting you so that you will now be strong to correct the next person. So I won't worry too much about it at all.
Okay, thank you, ma.
You're very welcome. You are very welcome. So we're going to go to Joy Eze and then go on Joy. And then you guys, please, at any point, if anybody is talking, you have a question, you can raise your hand with the raise hand thing, or you can put a chat. Let's get to the questions, okay? But I'm glad as we're even introducing ourselves, questions are coming up and we're answering them. So that's also very good. That's why I asked for these introductions, because they help to get the questions that you didn't know was a question to come outside. All right, go on, Joy. Are we Joy? Eze, the floor is yours. Okay, Joy Eze is still muted. I'm not sure if they're hearing us. So let's go to go on, Joy. And after go on, Joy, I think somebody else came in. I think it's their computer name that is here, TechnoSpark 5 Pro Sammy. So after go on, Joy, you can go.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Joy.
My introduction, my name is Gowon Joy. I am a student studying zoology presently, a final year student to be precise. When I first saw the flyer for this particular course, I picked interest because getting job currently in Nigeria is very, very hard. And as a woman, I like being independent. So I picked interest. I said, let me enroll on the course. And so far, I'm grateful I did, because I know that even as I've not yet gone out to look for one because of my exams and then my project, I've not really set out time to be able to look for work so far. But I'm happy that at least I'm participating in this, and I know that in future I will definitely go out to do something on my own. And on the CV part, you said we should not attach, let's say, our certificate, to be precise. So does that mean that even the ones we've listed in the CV, like the school you attended, your result, and the rest, is that not necessary to attach it to your resume? Is that necessary? Like, sorry, the network is breaking.
Okay, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I feel like that might be a locality-based question where things might be different in your locality compared to mine. Because even in my industry, even at my level, if I send you a CV, nobody will ever ask me for my certificate, even for university, because they have to find it themselves, right? They have to verify themselves that I have the degree. They're not going to ask me, because they know if they ask me, I can definitely produce a fake. So they don't even bother asking anybody for certificate over here. They just go and find out whether you went to that school or not. So, but for the Nigerian space, maybe somebody else can help us and clarify that. But what I can tell you is, if a job tells you that you don't need a degree to do the job, but you have a degree, then just having on your resume that you have a degree should be enough. You shouldn't have to send them the degree. Now, if the job says you require a degree, and if it's customary in Nigeria that when you apply for a job, you send your degree, then I would say send your degree. But I would still say, with regards to the other certificates like data entry or even this course, I would say that you don't send it unless somebody asks you specifically, you said you did this course. Please, do you have a certificate? Send it to me. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So that would be the way I answer that question. In Nigeria, so can anybody tell us, in Nigeria, when you apply for jobs after you finish university, is it customary for you to send your university degree with the CV you sent to them? I'm asking the whole class, so because I know some of you already have work. Please, can you help us out here?
No, it's not customary. You are asked for that upon documentation after you've gotten the job.
Okay. So thanks for clarifying that, OJ. So you've heard that then. So you don't have to send your degree, just send your CV, and then they can ask you for verification or for anything they want. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right.
Please, can I please say something on that her question?
Absolutely. Please. Go ahead.
When it comes to attaching your certificate, it depends on where you are applying. In some area where they still believe in old method, they will want you to attach some photocopies because most of them will not even go and search for your real certificate, and that's why at times they'll flood them with fake certificates. And later, maybe during auditing, after many years, they'll find out that they came in with fake certificates. So it depends on the area. Some people that still operate, let me use analog. If you're applying, you can ask the people around, did they put photocopies? You put photocopies of your certificate. That's to joy, so that you will not miss the opportunity, because they will just look for your certificate. That's the method they know. They don't know the upgraded version of using a system and everything. So it depends on the area. With my little experience anyway.
Okay, thank you so much, Chinyere. That really helps. So, Joy, there you have it. So definitely ask questions. And whatever in I think it's week 3 or week 4, we look at actual job postings, and I talked a lot about the fact that you need to follow any instructions that the job posting says. So if the job posting says send a certificate, for sure, please don't ignore that. Okay, but what she just said now is very valid. You need to ask and make sure that if it's a company or an organization that asks for that, please give them what they ask for. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. So we only have the TechnoSpark 5 Pro, Sammy. If you're here and you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good evening.
I think network carry them go where they no one go. Wahala. Okay, while we wait for them to come back, does anybody have any questions? We only have about 10 minutes here to wrap up, so let's get all the questions out here. But you guys have done so well so far. Thanks for all your questions. This has been a very useful live.
Good evening, Coach. I'm so sorry for that break. I think my network is fluctuating.
It's okay.
I've been trying to connect since 8 p.m., but I couldn't connect with my phone. So I had to lend my husband's phone to connect to this. My name is Priska Abuya. I'm using my husband's phone. That's why it's showing the name of the the phone instead.
Okay.
I came in late, so I don't really know if it's just introductions we are doing or if there's a topic ongoing that we are discussing. So since I didn't join the meeting on time, I don't know if there's something we are discussing. But my name is Priska, and I'm really glad I came across your post concerning this training. The first time I saw this training on Facebook, I could not afford to register, and before I know what, it was already expired. Then the second time I came across the post again, unfortunately, I had just lost my job where I was working. I had worked in a lab, in a laboratory for about 7 years. And
wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I lost that job. And I was so glad when I came across this post again. I said, wow, this is an opportunity that I must not miss. So I decided to register immediately. And I've been learning a lot. I've been learning a lot so far. And I really, I'm excited about everything I've learned. I'm still learning. And I really hope that this opens a new door for me. I will be very excited to work in this industry, in this sector. It's something, I'm not a science student, but because of my experience working in the lab, it's something that has interested me over the years, and I'm happy.
Okay, so Priska, it looks like your audio is tripping off a little bit there. So Priska, welcome. Right here, what you did is exactly what we do. We're just going around sharing our backgrounds and also any questions.
I'm learning. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Right now, I don't have any questions, so I'm just learning from the ones that have been asked.
Okay.
Learning from the questions, how to place your CV.
Okay. And then also something I'll tell you. Something I'll tell you that these sessions are recorded, so you can always watch anything that you've missed. And I see network has kicked you out again, so you are always able to watch what you've missed. Once we finish this meeting, the recording will be available and a link will be sent to everybody as well. So now, with regards to what Priska has said, I'm sure most people in the room already know this, but I'll just say it again for her own knowledge. This live session is really your time to ask questions. I don't come into this live session with any prepared topic or lesson plan. I just come, get your questions and answer it. And sometimes, if there's a lot of time and there's no question, then I can ask you like interview questions. I can bring, things that we should talk about and stuff like that. So for today, I really think we covered a lot of grounds. I really thank you guys for bringing up the questions you brought up. And I want to leave you, because I see that we're now into the last 5 minutes or so. So I want to leave you guys with this, okay? So we're all learning. I'm a big believer in continuous learning. I will keep learning every day until the day I die. So I want to tell you guys that even as your instructor for this course, I've actually learned in the course of delivering this class that there are opportunities for people who are outside the United States to be able to get employment that can help them with immigration to come into America. So you hear a lot of things about immigration, America, no, you can't even get visa dates, you can't get this, you can't get that. And I think that a lot of people I lose faith because they believe what they hear even before they do any research of their own, right? So just as a social media influencer, I've learned that even though they say there's no nurse shortage in America, I have a follower who has been able to come to America as a nurse with her whole family, right? And it was a completely sponsored trip, like an organization in America sponsored for her to go and get her NCLEX outside the country, sponsored for her to come into America eventually when they give her the job. So she didn't need to borrow any money from the bank to make this move, right? So I want to let you guys know that universities in America, research universities, they hire CTAs. And a lot of them, maybe because they've been struggling, losing staff, for whatever reason, a lot of them are actually willing to sponsor people to come and do the work. So as you're looking for work within Nigeria, also take some time. If relocation is in your cards, if it's something you're interested in, take some time to look specifically for clinical research coordinator or clinical trial assistant jobs that are within the university environments, especially if they mention that they can sponsor you. But even if they don't mention, I would say still apply, because I heard from one of your course-mates that I've taught in this class that there are actually universities that will sponsor you to come to America for a CTA job. So just something you should have, underneath your belt there.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You are very welcome. Is there any last minute questions? We have about 3 more minutes.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm sorry, my network is breaking. Hello?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. I don't know. Because I came late, I don't know if this question has already been answered. Your first question in the assignment was that we should use the CTA responsibilities we learned to update our CV. Please. I don't know how we can do that. Learning the course now, does it make us qualified to update our CV with the responsibilities we have learned so far?
Yes.
Can we just go ahead and do that without?
So what I meant by that is there are transferable skills. There are transferable skills in whatever you're doing right now, or experiences that you have when it comes to the CTA responsibility. I did give some examples where, for example, data entry, if you have any kind of system or any kind of role that you enter data in any system, whether it's even entering data in Excel, like I'm the secretary of my town's meeting, but we use Excel and I enter everybody's information in Excel. That is data entry. So it's instead of you to say, I use Excel to enter people's names, you can say data entry experience, right? That's what I meant by that. So using the lingo of the responsibility to be able to enter things that you already know or you already have experience with in your resume.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, any more last minute questions?
One more question.
Go ahead.
Please, one more question.
Go ahead.
This our niche now, or I don't know how to say it. This is our field now. For someone that is in the lab, even if you cannot answer it here, is there any other provision or any other field that you advise the person to also put mind inside this clinical trial or something? You will know better. So that as you are acquiring the data skills, someone that have been working in the lab and wishes to be in this clinical something, is there a niche you advise the person to also put interest in, or you can teach for someone that have been working in the lab or something, still on it? Because when you mention about oncology and things like that, the idea comes, but how do we navigate? You can answer it if there is no time again, maybe in our WhatsApp group or something, or later. I don't know.
There is. I can answer.
Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I understand. So your question essentially is if there's any other type of jobs or any other type of areas outside clinical research that you can try to learn more about. Is that your question?
Yes, but still within this industry that you are.
Okay. So for me, what I will definitely mention is the fact that
someone that has been in the laboratory.
Yeah, so because the truth is, for somebody who has worked in the lab, you are actually closer to clinical research, right? And a lot of people, for example, our classmate here who works in a bank, right? Your industry is more closely related because a lot of pharmaceutical companies or biopharmers that have clinical research departments. Some of them actually have preclinical departments. Some of them actually have labs that people work in, right? We actually have lab companies who are now turning themselves into CROs and doing clinical research because labs is a big vendor for clinical research. We send a lot of things to the lab. So I would definitely say that, you are in the right place. Don't let a bunch of no's tell you that you are not. I don't think that you really have to go outside of your, pursuits right now to look for other areas of interest. But what I want you to know is that in addition to like clinical trial assistants, there are other positions in this industry that are also entry level that you can look into. But it looks like you're already doing that because if you work in a university and you are trying to talk to them about potentially getting experience through that institution, the job you're actually looking for is a clinical research coordinator job, not really a CTA job. So just also knowing that research assistant, CRC, which is clinical research coordinator, they are all entry-level jobs that you can also look into. But I will say that I don't think that you need to go outside of what you're pursuing now, because you are actually the closest person, more than any other person in this class, between what you're doing right now and what you're trying to do.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yeah,
very
please.
well.
Can I quickly say something before we go?
Go ahead, OJ.
Okay, so just as a general advice for those who are just starting out and like Joy, or one Joy who is a student, our advice to you are in a university environment, their lecturers are into research. In your College of Health, there are clinical trials that are going on. This is, take it from someone who has worked as a research assistant for many lecturers. So you can walk up to them and also apply. This can help to build your experience. That's for those who are just starting out, who don't have jobs currently doing. So this is just my little advice to them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, OJ. That's a very useful advice. All right, guys, so we'll conclude today's live session, but as always, continue to ask your questions in the group chat, and we'll meet again next month, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good mom.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.